Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Osetaru, and welcome to another exciting edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Okay, so just the other day, last couple days actually, it's been like about a week. I've heard a reoccurring theme that I have to tell you guys about because if you are thinking this way, some of you are going to have a real hard problems keeping the relationship. A woman said in the comments that she was talking about social media, and she was saying that she thought it was silly for someone's significant other to want to say that they're in a relationship on Facebook or Twitter or whatever the case is. And she thought it was silly and frivolous and something, something, something. And at the time when I saw it, I ignored it because it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. The first thing that came to my mind is, I bet your relationships are fucked up. The first thing that came to my mind, because I'm like, if you're thinking your partner's needs are silly, you got some issues. Then somebody else said it to me, and they were like, well, it's silly that my Aquarius doesn't want to spend whatever this holiday is with my family. And I was like, the whole holiday? I mean, y'all can't just do a day or two? Like, the Aquarius wants to go do other things for the Thanksgiving holiday. And she wants to spend the holiday with her family. And this woman's a Pisces and the Aquarius is her dude. And he's like, okay, we can go there for a day or two, but why do we have to go for the whole holiday? He wants to do other stuff. So she's like, I just think he's being so silly and and doesn't want to honor his request. And they got into a fight about it. And she came to me and she's like, well, why is he being so silly? And it was in my head like, ding, 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 ding. There's that word again. And then a couple days later, maybe a day later, now that I'm thinking about it, someone else said to me, the woman said that her husband wanted to purchase something and she thought it was a silly purchase, and they got into a fight about it, and she feels as though it's something he really doesn't even need. But he really wants it. So all three of these people said the same word to me. This is silly. And I said to myself, you know what? These people are really going to have problems in these relationships, because one of the things that they're really fucking up on is that your partner's needs are sometimes silly. I'm going to just be straight out with you. Sometimes your partner wants some stupid shit. They want something that makes no sense, something that's, especially if it's an emotional need, oh my God. They could ask you for something that makes no freaking sense. Like, can we not drive down that street because my ex-boyfriend used to live on that street, and every time we drive down that street, it reminds me of him. Something like that, something small, something silly. A lot of times your partner's needs are silly. Newsflash, sometimes so are yours. So, yes, they are. I know it doesn't feel that way because it's your needs, but sometimes they are silly. Sometimes what you need to feel okay is not that rational. Sometimes it's kind of ridiculous, okay? And the other person that's with you still needs to honor it, no matter if it's silly or not. So in all of those cases, I didn't answer the first person. I just blew it off because I just really just didn't care. I just kind of blew it off. But the other two were clients, so I'm more likely to really talk about something in depth when it's my client. And I was just like, yo, your partner's needs are going to be silly sometimes, but that doesn't mean that they're not important. Even if they are silly, even if they're ridiculous, even if they're irrational, I don't care what your partner asks you for. If your partner asks you for it and they are serious about it and it's important to them, then you are just fucked up for telling them, oh, your needs are just silly. What? That's your partner. And when it's your needs, you're going to be expecting them to fulfill them. So my thing is if they're silly or not, compromise on them. If you can, like in the case of what she was talking about with social media. So what if it's silly? So if my partner sent me a link to their Facebook and I thought it was silly, I would hit it anyway. Who was it hurting? Who was it hurting? Not me, not her. So if that's something that she wants to feel okay, if that's something that she wants to be happy, if that's something that she just wants because she dislikes it, maybe that's just what she's into, and then I come in her like, oh, that's just silly, then really I don't deserve my partner because I'm not taking good care of her heart. If her heart, if her emotions, if she needs something, it's up to me to be there for her and not dismiss or belittle her as just being silly. So this is what I told my two clients. And both of them understood what I was saying, especially the one that had the whole thing with the holiday thing and she wants to go away for Thanksgiving. So they did manage to work it out, and they are going to the family and they are coming back. They're going for Thanksgiving Day itself and leaving the next morning so they can do what the Aquarius wants to do and what the Pisces wants to do. So, like I said before, if your partner comes at you with something silly, don't come at them like that. Don't put them down. Don't tell them it's just silly. Don't do that to them. This person is the person that you are in a partnership with. You should never treat them like they're not important. And when you tell them their needs are silly or their needs are unimportant or they're ridiculous or they're irrational or whatever the case is, that's what you do to them. Because the way that they hear that and the way that I hear it when I heard it when it was said was your needs aren't important. That's not important. That's not mature. That's not adult. That's not rational. Your needs are not important. I'm dismissing your needs, and my needs are important, but yours are not. And that's not cool. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and they say some silly shit to you, remember what I said. Sometimes their needs are silly, but they still need to be honored and addressed. Because when it's you, you're going to want yours honored and addressed too. And that's how human nature is. Sometimes something is strictly emotional. Sometimes somebody just needs to be reassured. And this other thing that came up from one of them was insecure. They were saying, well, they're just being silly because they're insecure. What's wrong with being insecure? Sometimes we're all insecure. We're not all confident and together all the time. So if your partner is insecure, guess whose job it is to make them feel more secure? It's yours. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be 100% secure because you tried to make them secure, but it is your idea. It is your responsibility to try. That is your partner. You owe them more than just blowing off what they want and need. So think about that, guys, because the way that you treat your partner, the way that you come off to them, the way that you talk to them, all of that is energetically important for your relationship. An off-color comment or something like, oh, I don't want to do this because it's silly, could destroy your whole relationship, especially if they start feeling like they're not important to you. I'm not going to stay in a relationship with somebody who treats me like my needs are silly. That's probably pretty much the last conversation we're going to have. So you got to think about that. You have come into this person's life. You've invited them into your life. So treat them good while they're there. Okay? See you later.